up a seat at the bar to join us for another episode of McAnally's Pubcast, a podcast exploring the fun and fantastical mind of Jim Butcher's The Dresden Files series. Hosts Tanzan, Jess, and Maggie bring you another round of literary analysis on this immense, immersive, and colorful environment inhabited by Harry Dresden, the world's only licensed private investigator and professional wizard. Join an active and engaged community of new and die-hard dedicated fans focused on the fabulous themes, theories, characters, context, lore, and more. This is McAnally's Dresden Files Pubcast by Free Flow Rambling. Conjure by it at your own risk.
Welcome to the McAnally's Pubcast, brought to you by Free Flow Rambling. This is episode 17.25, I Know What You Did Last Summer, where we are covering the novel Proven Guilty. My name is Tanzan, and I'm joined by Maggie.
Hello, hello.
And Jess.
88 days.
Woo woo. Chapter 40. The group successfully escapes the Nevernever and Arctis Tor. It is revealed that Molly's rescue was a ruse to get the Winter Court away from Summer's borders, set up by Lily and Maeve.
So they start running away. Away! Thankfully, Harry didn't burn out the butterfly completely, so they don't freeze to death in the first 5 seconds of trying to escape.
That seems utterly impossible.
Right, just enough. But Murphy's a little curious about what's going on. And Harry's like, oh, Earl King, big bad, wants to kill me. Oh no, why? Well, I met him.
Really, that's all the explanation.
It is. And Marsters reads it so well, too. He's like, well, I met him. Murphy's like, oh yeah, okay. Like, enough said.
I've also met you. I get it.
But Harry, you're never mouthy. Yeah, I don't know. Weird. So they run away a lot. Thomas is like, keep moving. Harry's like, duh. And Murphy being small and tiny and having lots of heavy armor, it's struggling. And even Charity, who is bigger and stronger.
Oh, she's also tending to a daughter.
Is tending to her daughter, has been through a fight. And as Harry has explained, and lots of other action adventure things, 5 seconds of battle is like an hour of extensive workout and stuff like that. There's a reason he fell in battle is synonymous with death. Right. So, yeah, Charity's been expending a large amount of energy already, and they get the great idea. Harry's like, okay, everybody take everything off and make Thomas carry it.
I don't think they have much of a choice because Murphy's belt
her belt snaps
anyway.
And she's tripping over it. Yeah, exactly, right? But I just love, he's like, Thomas, and Thomas is like, why the fuck do I have to? And he's like, you're the only one that can fucking carry it and not slow down. And I was like, okay, yeah, fine. So they pause for a second to strip all the unnecessary stuff. And then Thomas makes a good point, too, because he's like, why do I have to bring it? And he's like, do you want people coming over and leaving radioactive waste in your living room? And he's like, okay, also a fair point. Like, good reason. Plus, and again,
I kind of get it, but at the same time, I'm like, when Harry decides to be a dick and not be a dick is so arbitrary.
Sometimes. But at the same time, I'm like, I would have been like, Cherry, again, this stuff can't be cheap. And the time and effort that we know, because Charity has handcrafted all of this stuff. Yeah, that's the other reason. I get, sure, don't leave garbage where you're visiting. That's right. Scouts,
but
leave
it's
no
actually
trace.
not garbage.
But at the same time,
priceless, life-saving material.
This is, right? This is some important stuff. And I mean, again, Michael seems to do okay. But the man is just a construction dude with a very large family. They're not rolling in it.
God provides.
God provides, but not when you just throw it away all willy-nilly, so.
This moment here where Harry tells them that they've been used, but then he won't tell them why.
Seriously.
I get it's gonna, start to advance the plot that he's got knowledge, that he knows something's going on.
I was going to say, I'm sorry, let's back up a couple chapters.
But
it's
to be
like
Thomas,
heroin.
where he's going to be like, why would you bring it up then? If you're not going to have me, let me ask.
Literally.
No.
How do you expect these people? At a certain point,
By the way, all your friends are about to be slaughtered. Have fun storming the castle. Don't think about that right now. Why? Yeah.
It doesn't even say, who said what, how, and I imagine it's all three of them. The chorus response.
Right.
Yeah, so the power of summer is almost gone by the time they get to the rift, but some sort of yeti-like ogre things start to confront them. And fortunately, because, the magic's almost done, Charity manages to toss Harry her sword, and while Murphy and her get Molly out.
Yes. So
Charity actually, she doesn't toss the sword to Harry. She stabs it in the
feet.
snow, which means the snow's not fairy made.
Or is it?
And it immediately melted.
Stabbed it. And it gave way.
Immediately melted in a 3-foot radius around it.
The fact that the sword sunk into the snow is proof that in fact.
Then shouldn't it be like some Tron holodeck thing where like just the entire like area just like
falls,
there's just no ground, no snow, it just all disappears into a void or something. Yeah.
Oh, you went to Void Nevernever. Yeah, don't go there. It's just falling, man.
That's bad. You'll run into Bob, not the Thunderbolts Bob, not this Bob. Yeah, so Harry's like, I'm not a great swordsman. I mean, I like how he says it because it's true. He's like, I mean, sure, more than like 99% of people on the planet.
Touche.
Which is
honestly
sounds like one of those stats you can pull out. Like I was on the cover of Time magazine.
Touche.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Jessica was on. But at the same time, within that though,
it's another one of those things when they're like, it only affects 1% of the population. It's like, that's millions.
Yeah. When you actually get down to it, yeah.
Only 2% of the world's population are redheads. That's like
millions.
1% is still fucking lots. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's all about the thrust and lunge, and now he's got this big, heavy ass, but he's like, I can still hack and slash things, so.
Well, unfortunately for him, like, Thomas is pretty, like.
At least Tom's like, I got this covered. Right. And that is the nice thing. I mean, he jokes about it, and it's also very true, but Thomas is more than just a pretty face.
Yeah.
Which you cannot make up in finesse, though. They've got some pure raw strength to them.
Right.
This whole fight is so funny to me how it plays out, like, because Thomas just knocks the snot out of, like, 2 of them, and then the third one hits him with a tree. What? But then, like, the move that Harry makes to get them to stop just makes me laugh still. Like,
I don't care what you are. When you're danglies, okay?
If you've got danglies, you want to protect them. Yeah, exactly. But when he tells Thomas, he's like, we just need to distract him long enough to get out. And then Thomas is like, okay, and lunges. I was almost expecting that to be like a no, wait. But then I was all fine. I was just like, oh, he's just jumping in and kicking ass. All right, fine. You go, Thomas.
It's like a spider monkey. Whee!
I know. And he's just like, all right, let's go.
How many times off the top of your head has Harry been knocked unconscious by something and his friends are
142.
Get him out of the way. They drag him. They protect him. They stand over his body. I like as soon as it happens to Thomas, Harry's like, fuck, man, get the fuck up. Let's go. We don't have time for this. What the fuck is your problem? I'm like, Thomas has carried you out of how many situations?
That's just it. He's like, you're just faking. I know. He's like, I'm just a frail human, man. I can't. You forget it. You're the deer carrying.
Every now and again, I'm just, oh yeah. Are you upset, Thomas, that you got taken out by a tree? Yeah. How do you think Susan felt when you kicked her?
Right. Traitor scumbag. Yes, Harry. And I mean, it's true brotherly, too.
Exactly.
Oh, you're fine, dude.
Get up, whatever.
No. My trauma is horrible. Anything that happens to you is just meh.
My shadow abruptly flickered. Okay, in hindsight, when you read the next
so
couple,
ominous.
Right? Oh, okay, it all makes sense. But knowing about all this fallen shit, I was fully prepared. I'm like, oh, Lash, you come to do your job? No, you're okay.
Well, and especially...
Or Nicodemus, obviously.
Nicodemus, yeah. Even this whole book has been about, things hiding in the shadows, on movie monsters coming out to get you, and dark... You know what I mean? Exactly. Like, my shadow flickered. Wait, it did what? Oh, I'm sorry. There's just a source of light. Yeah, it's fine.
You know what lights do.
Physics. It's okay. I mean, I don't know. We're in the Nevernever. You can't just trust that it's physics.
It's a good point.
It was kind of a distracting moment, too, because when this chapter first started, it was like, okay, where's Fix? Because he's still waiting
was supposed to be guarding the door back.
That is also,
if they're close enough that those two can run back.
But then the shadow flicks. I was like, what? What's this? What ominous thing? Oh, no.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yes, answer my question. There's Fix.
Isn't this your job, Fix? What the fuck?
Why are we doing this? I should just be lying here unconscious, Fix. You should be fighting things. That's why I brought you.
Fix obviously helped carry Molly in. Very kind. Thanks, Fix.
Yeah. Which is, again, Fix might not be a big guy, as they've mentioned, but we know he's bigger than Murphy. So Murphy trying to, because he's, again, we know Charity's like 6 foot and Molly's like spitting image kind of a thing. So yeah, poor Morph trying to, I got it. Better than nothing, but exactly, right? It's, yeah. Fix is like, all right.
All right, but they get through and Lily closes the rift. And instead of finding themselves snow-covered, now they find themselves quite slimy.
Slime.
Which is interesting, because I wouldn't have even thought of the snow, also
Jessica?
changing.
It's very Yes, anything that is matter in the Never becomes slime matter in our universe. Anything and everything, except as apparently oh my God, can you imagine? Oh, that would be so awful. I was going to say, can you imagine how awful that would be? You're breathing in the Never, and all of a sudden you step back into, and all of a sudden you just
air turns into.
Yeah, your lung is instant mucus, oh my.
Everything in the Never except oxygen and nitrogen and helium and very small trace amounts.
Once it's past the human body, we're already but oh my
Little
God.
known fact, the human body can easily process ectoplasm. Most of us just don't have a chance to try.
Right? Disprove me. Yeah.
So Harry explains that he used summer fire and drew all of winter, to which Fix is horrified. He's like, you did what?
You did what?
You know what? Actually, there's an astronaut who found out he's allergic to moon dust. He went to the moon and got very allergic reaction and brought stuff back. And they found out that there's something that affects something in humans, but they don't know what it is yet. And so it's just randomly, if they send an astronaut to the moon and if they get allergies, then they can test to see what the original astronaut and what this astronaut might have in common.
This also seems like the premise of a horror movie, too.
That probably, too. Right. But it's only ever happened to the one guy, so we still don't know what it is that's causing the allergy. We're just for all we know, this affects 5% of the population, but we're not sending 5% up to the moon, so we're never going to know.
Sorry, Schmitty.
What a horrible way to find out that, moon dust is asbestos.
Here, breathe this. You have a reaction? Yeah, right? Just rub a little of this on.
So only 12 humans.
You'll find out 10 years from later.
Only 12 humans have ever been to the moon, and one of them was allergic. So is it 1 in 12 humans who are allergic to the moon, or is it 1 in a million and we're just never going to know?
Right?
Crazy, right?
That is kind of crazy, actually.
Fly me to the moon.
Wait. I need Benadryl.
Could you imagine, the panic, though, and not realizing that it's just allergy, and being am I going to die? What the fuck?
Right.
Was this toxic? Oh, my God.
When you're literally oh my God, I've seen this movie.
I'm just allergic.
Right?
Meh.
Yes, especially, if it had been a super...
Okay, so I like that Fix actually also feels betrayed here. It's not just Harry and the gang, okay? Fix was also not being spoken to. Which, to a certain point, I guess. The night is not just Lily's night. The night also serves the queen and the crown.
Yes.
So I can see why you would not include him, but I also see why Fix is you motherfucking what?
Yeah, that Lily plays quite a good game of poker.
Mm-hmm.
Which Harry's pretty, disappointed, but also kind of gets, and sort of almost he sort of lets it go because it was in the spirit of good, but even though she still risked people's lives, but spirit of good.
It's a whole thing. And again, just more of this fairy lawyering and
morally
the whole
gray area
yeah,
that he's not
exactly.
used to her maybe being a part of.
Right? Well, even just well, that's impossible. Where would Harry even get Summer Fire to do this? Oh, wait.
Lily,
I didn't know. Yeah, I just gave him a minor comfort. I didn't know he was going to misuse it.
I actually do love the way she says that. How am I supposed to know that Harry Dresden would steal the power for himself?
Right.
Not untrue, though.
What could have possibly given any indication of those events?
Right, whatever.
Throw the man under the bus. It's cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So then we get an interesting little thing here, and Murphy's well, it only took him a couple minutes to show up. Why can't they just turn around and run back? And Lily's ha
Yeah, by the way.
We changed time. So this is, see, right here, Jessica, obviously Harry just time traveled right now. We have your proof.
Harry very, very, very well explains it in the next chapter.
He doesn't really. He just says,
Moving
we
forward,
do that all the time.
Forward is not time travel, okay?
Manipulating time is not the same, and moving yourself through as opposed to...
Yeah. Also, Harry didn't do it. Maeve did it.
Manipulating how long it takes somebody to travel
This
to
is
different
true.
things.
I'm just saying Jessica has basing so many of her predictions off the fact that Harry will break. I'm like, well, technically, here he's done it. Why are you looking at me like that?
Listen, two things real quick. First of all, this isn't time travel. Second of all, this isn't like a fan theory that Harry's going to break them all. The actual author has stated that Harry will break them all, okay?
Just as a review, which ones are the ones that he's broken so far?
Killing with magic. I think that's the only one he broke officially so far. You can't
He's
put
technically
anyone
done the
under mind
necromancy
control.
one with
Oh, right, he did necromancy, but that doesn't count.
Well,
Like,
again,
are they like soft breaks, and that's why he gets away with them? Like,
Well, it was a hard break with Justin, but
yeah,
he was
the
defending
murder
himself.
ones. Yes. I was going to say, the other ones...
I don't think
Controlling
Sue counts,
fairies.
though, in this case. Fairies you can control. They're not humans. You can do whatever you want to monsters and fairies. No one gives a shit about them. They have no rights.
Yeah, that was the
like,
technical...
how loosey-goosey are we getting with Butcher's rules that he's going to break them? Like,
I don't think loosey-goosey at all, though. I think, like, the White Council wants to execute him because he's going to start breaking shit, or he's just so powerful the White Council can't do anything about it. And I think until he's at level 20, or at least, like, I don't know, 17, 18, he can't, or they're going to come and get his ass. So it's like probably only the book's coming out right around now, and I don't even think 12 months, but probably
So he's
I think
gonna start
Mirror.
smashing them
I think
all
Mirror
at
is when he
once.
actually starts hard breaking the
it'll be
laws.
so exciting to read that in 5 years.
I was gonna say 10.
It's a long time for me to avoid spoiler chat. Shit.
To be fair, Jim Butcher still has to write them all, which are then 20 years away.
Yeah.
Eat healthy, Butcher. Eat healthy.
I was gonna say, I was like, the fans need to take out life insurance or like a protection detail around him.
His son's got a secret
just-
vault key.
Right?
God forbid he ever did something. What's that vampire writer? Not Anne Rice, but the one that stopped writing her series in like the early 2000s and never got back to it, and then she died like a couple weeks ago or a couple of years ago, and everyone's like, okay, well now she's definitely not. And it's like, well, she already took a 20-year hiatus. Did you really think she was returning to it? And same with George R.R. Martin. It's like, eventually 20 years will pass, and it's like, do we really think he's going back to it? If Jim Butcher ever takes that long of a hiatus, I'm gonna be like, please,
screwed.
bro,
Well, like,
please.
what's her name? Mists of Avalon had a series of those ones too, and she ended up having a friend that she was
them or something.
co-writing with have to take over.
Yeah.
So join our new Discord thread where you can discuss all these new... So what?
So we do find out that Lily was working with Maeve to get Winter off of Summer's border.
So this ties up a few things because, again, the council... who was getting we got reminded, are just nicely getting their asses kicked as you go out to do this. Summer can't go help because Winter's breathing down their neck. Now all of a sudden Winter's come back and he's like, but you can't do that. Like, again, you're talking about back in winter. If you change time once they were back in winter so that they couldn't run back, you can't. Oh my God.
It's great. The question, or the frustration, I suppose, is... Again, the council is going to the fairies and being like, can you please let us walk through your borders and ways and do all this shit?
Make it easier.
And then they get pissed off because they're also letting the reds. And it's like, you're not asking for enough. Can you please just make it take 50 days for the vampires to walk there and us 1 hour?
Well, and this is the thing.
So I have to be very specific in contracts.
Yeah, clearly.
Well, the fairies and but this was, again, lest we forget, a very large point of Book 4 of Summer Night. Harry had to do all that to gain favor with the fairies so that the wizards would be granted those rights and not the vampires. So the vampires are supposed to be getting chastised. There's fines. And none of it's being enforced, right? So they're like, what the fuck did we do all of that for? And risk and
Which is funny because Harry's the only one who did anything and he seems the least bothered about it. He's like, oh, that sucks. Have fun at your war.
I tried. Yeah, it's fairies, man.
Other than the fact that, obviously Harry is bothered by how much they get keeping. Yeah, that their side is losing a lot because of it. But yes, it's not really like, I already did do I have to do it again? Everything? Yeah, exactly. He was kind of hoping for more hands.
Still, though, yeah, there's not enough anger at the fairies for how much they could be helping and aren't.
Yeah,
okay, fine. It's technically not their job. It's not their war, but also, you're involving yourselves.
I was gonna say, much like real world things, I'm like, if the other side's not supposed to be doing it, why won't you uphold that side?
We're looking at the whole from a little bit of a further step back for perspective wise.
The fairies are
the
Italy.
fact that Lily herself is willing to sacrifice Harry and all of the other people
Potentially
to be able to help the White Court or White Council against the vampires.
This whole thing is a wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. Yeah.
So he's more.
So that leads you even more to wonder about, well, what's wrong with Lily?
Yeah.
Like, what?
Like he kind of drops
where
it
are
a
her
little bit
loyalties?
too soon, I think, where he's just kind of, well, her heart was in the right place, I guess.
But yeah, Lily does this whole, like, you've been a better friend to me and mine than I've been to you and yours. And he's like, okay, well, I guess that's an apology. And I'm like, what the fuck?
They're one of those things that, sure, when and if it all works out, okay, great, ends justifies the means, whatever. But, like, if even one of these dominoes hadn't fallen or had fallen differently, so many things would have, like, so many opportunities for things.
But who's
to
worried? Mab is there pulling the strings. It all happened according to plan.
Right, so what are we worried about? We mere mortals.
Who is the puppet master?
It's this right here, this knowledge that Harry gains. Okay, Maeve and Lily are working together. That's a secret, okay? And the fact that Lily actually owned up to it in this moment when they could continue to work together for this foreseeable future is actually strange.
Actually big.
Why would
that
she?
She's giving as much
That she
as
is
that,
telling
yeah.
them and Fix as well. But regardless, but Harry now knows. He's like, Mab knows. You think you're being sneaky. Mab fucking knows.
I know something about
He doesn't
it.
share that information, but Harry now knows two sides of this to be like,
Yeah.
Keep your clearance close. He's still playing poker.
it's, Harry's already, moved in position of knight.
Right? Well, even this whole thing, because, like, it's fine because he's like, oh, well, now we can talk about it, right?
I've played chess before, not to brag.
I like that. Yes.
Thanks so much.
This is good.
You guys are killing me.
This is not a spoiler laugh. Not a spoiler laugh.
No, not at all. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Oh, Lord.
You were saying.
I don't know anymore.
She doesn't know. I knew she didn't know.
That Lily's all blasé about it now, and Harry's like, what the fuck? And she's like, well, now we're just talking about history, and now
That's crazy.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
such
great
a
loophole.
fucking crazy fucking loophole.
Right?
Oh my god.
Right? Well, now I can't change any of that. That's all happened. So now what does it matter if we talk about...
That is unreal. Every single time I read it, every time it gets me, I'm like, you motherfucker.
Like there's a way out of every contract for them.
Right?
Follow your advice. Don't make deals with fairies.
Yeah.
Ever. 'Cause they'll just... There's a way. There's a way for them.
Yeah. How bad are things that those two are working together, and that seems like the best option. And then as well, oh my.
Lily and Fix take their leave and start to, initiate start helping the White Council. And Harry makes the next suggestion that they go to holy ground so they can recoup and, more importantly, get some food. Fuck yeah.
Food.
Now, if you're reading this book for the first time and you think storming Arctis Tor is like the big climactic thing in this
Pinnacle?
book, and you're looking and you're like,
There's
there's still about a third of this book left to go.
I'm at this point when I was really, I'm like, oh my God, there's still more chapters. I said, why does this book feel so, it felt like it was going so fast and now it feels so long.
Yeah, I've been reading
They
the
have
ebook
a
for a
lot
significant amount of this book.
talking back at the church.
Yeah, they do. And I pulled out my actual physical copy to read yesterday or whatever. And I was like, oh, wow, there's a significant amount of this book left. And I remember all the events. I've now read it 2 or 3 times in the last couple of months that we've been doing this.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of talking at that church.
Still, you feel like there's...
But it's also interesting.
Yeah.
It is interesting in there.
Quality chapters, these parts here.
But this is the thing, is Harry starts to realize some issues. Like, yeah, let's go get safe, let's go get some food. But now that the initial plan is over and he's seeing... So he has that little heartwarming moment of, oh, I might have fixed, like, Molly and Charity, that's so cool. But, oh, wait, we're in this mess because obviously Molly's done a bunch of shit. And Molly's done a bunch of shit she wasn't supposed to do. As we all know from Harry's situation, doesn't matter whether you were well-intentioned or you didn't know, or even from Charity's story, right? Like,
We're back to the rock and hard place scenario for Harry.
yeah. So again, not only is he just
What did you say about Prometheus?
Prometheus, yeah, Sisyphus, all them guys.
That one.
Sorry, that guy.
Which also brings us full circle to the start of the book.
Which does, but that's the thing, is Harry's not even just a wizard who has been through and knows, right? Again, he's fucking part of the establishment and shit now, right? He's a fuck, but I feel like that is right. Like he's now this responsibility of what do I do with this information now that I have it? Because it's not good.
Crap.
Crap.
Why do we even do it?
Right?
Oh, yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
Mama.
That's a little embarrassing, but okay, you've been through something traumatic, Molly. I'll let it go this once. Fuck.
Definitely much more of a mama. Not.
I'm such a badass teenager, and I know everything in the world. I got kidnapped. They were mean to me. Mommy.
Okay, talking about, blame the victim there, Jessica. I'm pretty sure she's
so
allowed some
grown up now.
No mercy for anybody from us.
Nope.
How dare you let yourself be known by me?
Least of all, Jim Butcher. Sorry, man.
It's just like
We really do love you, I swear.
We're fans.
we're big fans. I was gonna say, it's just like by, going onto our website, you automatically agree to all our terms and conditions. That's because, like, if you exist in this world, you haven't taken yourself
have
out
our
of your
sweatshirt
subject,
now.
you have automatically consented
You didn't read the small print on that book, did you?
If you breathe oxygen one time, you are at my mercy.
That's right, yeah. You consented to all this, bitch.
Next time, don't cut that umbilical cord. That's on you.
Thank you to our Patreon subscribers for your generous support. It's people like you who help us do what we do. If you're not yet a Patreon subscriber, sign up today and get a fuck ton of bonus content, kick-ass merch, behind-the-scenes outtakes, and more. Sign up today at patreon.com/freeflowrambling. Chapter 41. Back at St. Mary's, Harry speaks with Molly about her magic and what her options going forward are. So they get to St. Mary's to bunker down, where Harry forces Thomas to come in as well. It's quite cute.
I was gonna say, it's kind of fun how he sort of bullies him into. Thomas is all like, "Oh, it's fun. I'll just go." He's like, "Get your ass in there. Like, fuck off."
And get some grub while there's a small,
just
unofficial Carpenter family reunion occurring.
Oh, it is the
All of the
sweetness,
chins.
the touching, the. Hang on. Yeah, so Harry does start feeling a little bit of the warm fuzzies because he's like, wow, did I actually fix this riff that Michael wanted and I didn't think it was possible? Yes, you caused enough other trauma that this trauma now seems trivial. They're much better. But it is nice. It is sweet. And I mean, it's cute how all the other kids wake up when they're coming in. We're all like, Mom, Mom. Even though Daniel before was like, what the fuck? You're messing everything up, right? He's like, oh, yay, you're saved. You're back. You didn't get killed by scary bad guys that
Movie
stole you away.
monsters.
Movie
Yeah.
monsters, yeah. Right? So it is nice, right? Everybody kind of said, which, again, kudos to these kids, because I'm like, I don't think we all would have settled and just got back to sleep like that. So it's nice. And
They do church sleepovers all the time.
A little Ambien in their water.
right.
It's just naturally occurring in holy water, didn't you know?
Father Fort Hill is also a pharmacist.
Honestly, at this point, I take it. I believe it. Dude's done everything.
Lawyer, priest.
He just passed his flask around to them all. He's like, one sip only.
You're right.
Rub this gin into your teeth.
That's totally acceptable for every Catholic family.
That's he just held communion. They all had a sip of wine and went to bed.
Right? Exactly. Special communion. Fine. So he also has a moment to sit down with Murph and be like, hey, so this was awesome. Thanks for coming. Everything's cool. And she's like, yeah, not cool for me.
Weirdly, one of the most devastating parts of this book is that Murphy is about to get fucked right now.
Yeah.
She says, here, I'm going to lose SI. Fuck.
Yeah.
Yes, right? And Harry's sudden realization of what this means and the fallout from this. And he's like, well, what? I don't get it. You were only like a day. She's like, yeah, but Harry, I was in charge. Everything was going to shit. I took over. And they said, all right, you seem to know what you're doing. You got this organized the best so far. Fine. You run point on this. And then you just fucking disappeared.
This is so frustrating to Murphy's integrity, though. It's like, can you not just fake a poisoning or something like that? You had food poisoning.
Right.
Not even like somebody tried to kill you, but just...
Well, this is even the thought I've had. I was like, I don't know, can't you say like the bad guys kidnapped you away or something and you just got, right?
Because there's no real way for her to wrap up this, like the double-sided sword of working in SI is that there's no really good way to report it anyways. There's
explain
no
what-
way
yeah.
to say, oh yeah, it was a bunch of monsters from fairyland.
This is her whole job, so spin it one more time in your own favor. God damn, Murphy.
Yeah. I was
It's
gonna
just-
say, like, and I mean, again, yeah, I get it's the whole web of lies thing. It poses one more problem of where's the evidence of those kinds, right? Again, real world things, where's the evidence? Where's your bound wrists? Where's your DNA? Or where, you know what I mean? I guess she's opening a whole other can of worms as she tries to
I'm sure
explain
she's already a little roughed up.
that
She got fucking sliced open while she was there.
I get, right, I'm just spitballing here or whatever, I don't know, but exactly the
But
fact
still,
that,
just,
she's...
somebody stabbed me and I collapsed in an alleyway and I didn't know where I was and I woke up in the hospital this morning and, like, was so disoriented and had a concussion and I guess you get the fake medical files, but still something, come on!
Yeah, and it's still so, it's like almost, it's equally traumatizing to hear that she's okay with it and already knew that at some point this was going to be inevitable and was going to happen anyways, despite her intentions.
She's already run the odds.
As soon as she heard back at the theater. Although it makes me wonder too, like, well, that place should have still been crawling with police. Did they just walk out of the theater? It was sunrise, but shouldn't that place have still had some sort of...
But the theater itself wasn't...
At least
that was the crime scene. She was there the whole time.
No, but nothing happened at the...
Yeah, but it's next door to the hotel where all the murders happened.
Yeah.
And Murphy's just going in and out of the theater next door, and everyone's like, where the fuck is Murphy?
Well, to a point,
I know,
yes, obviously. Still. I mean, yeah, she only went in when she went in and out when she went out, which is 2 days later. But yes, okay, fine. I get kind of what you're saying, that yes.
But still, yeah, the fact that she just,
it is. It's just a little bit of heartbreak.
Takes it, kind of, is like, fuck, no, what's the fuck? You've earned this one. And to that also, that point of, well, it's a lie and you don't want to, almost no. She actually had really good, legitimate reasons for missing out on work. She's not like,
she actually was solving the case.
I wasn't fucking in Hawaii, fucking Kincaid. She has, it's worth lying for.
Yes. And again, these are when those stupid world...
that's not fair. When is life?
Yeah.
You could make it fair. You could have Harry go beat you up in the parking lot right now to have those bruises or what? Fuck.
Yeah, Harry just needs more stuff that conveniently matches into that. But no, I know. Again, same thing, right? I've said that 100 times in my head. Why couldn't you do... I mean... Yep. There should be some way out of this for Murph. Murph should not have to
swallow this.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. He tries to be all like, I will, and she's like, you can't. It's okay. This is... and again...
This is actually further when Harry's like, well, the best I can do, or at least something I can do is like go and send a bunch of cockroaches in there and watch them all run out and something. And even Murphy turns that down. I'm like, okay, Murphy, you could have a little bit of vindictiveness once in your life, okay?
Smile at it at least. She's like,
no, I know, but
okay,
I'm like, he's just telling a joke and you even turn that down. I was like, I hate you, Murphy. Fuck, fight a little.
I was going to say one saving grace is when she says she would do it all again anyways. Like, you know what I mean? At least that's the only thing that makes it the least bit palatable, is that she's like, I do understand. And, even if I had thought, even if we'd known ahead of time that this, right, it wouldn't change.
Story structure-wise, it is really good way to sort of force her character to advance, change, grow.
Demote. But yes.
Conflict is interesting.
Yes, exactly.
Even if we sometimes don't want to read it.
We don't want it to exist.
But it seems very much the Butters pathway. They're going to try and get me to quit, and when they can't, psych-evals, therapy, demotion. It's just like, fuck, man. Harry, your circle.
Yeah, exactly.
You're a curse.
Right? You don't help the people. Much as you help the people around you, you don't help the people. And it's true, because again, same thing, right? Why did she ditch out, right? It could just be like, well, were you scared of what was going on? Well, you can't really be a cop in charge of things, is the scary situation. You know what I mean? Like, exactly, right? There's no way she can come up with, right? So, yeah, she's just going to have to bite the bullet and be subjected to all these things and make it look good without fucking herself over further. She can't dismiss it and not take it too seriously, because then they'll just be like, well, you're not. But she can't go full delve into it either, because then they'll be like, we actually are crazy. Yeah.
And about literally the only comfort Harry can offer is that we're still friends.
And that is something, too. She's like, again, this, as we've mentioned before, from book 1, 2, 3 to now, where she's willing to take, right? She's like, I didn't quite know what to do in the beginning. I was willing to like chip a tooth and like arrest you and like whatever. Now she's like, now this is having real world direct consequences on me, my life, my reputation, my career. And I wouldn't change it. I would.
You know what? Murphy has come a far way.
Right?
She really, really has. When you consider the way that she acted and treated, if Harry had her lose her job in one of the first 3 books.
Yeah.
No more Harry.
Yeah. Yeah, and no more Harry and Murphy. Yeah, that would have been exactly right.
Just no more Harry. She'd have killed him.
Judo chop to the throat.
Yeah. But, yeah, exactly right. But, yeah. But, Murph, we all feel ya. A lot of us love our jobs, but there's always a high moron factor.
Yep. Oh, Thomas, can I bum a ride so Harry still doesn't get to know where I live?
He knows where they live. She fucking trashed their place last time. She never asked.
No, stupid. Harry doesn't know where Thomas lives.
Oh, Thomas, that's... Oh, sorry, yes.
God, keep up.
You said it backwards.
Man, those
You're
coworkers.
like, oh, Thomas, can I bum a ride?
I regarded the kids for a moment. Mostly very young children's faces relaxed in sleep. Children whose world had been founded in something as solid as Charity's love for them would be able to do almost anything. Between her and her husband, they could be raising an entire generation of men and women with the same kind of power, selflessness, and courage. I'm a pessimistic of the human condition as a rule, but contemplating the future and how the Carpenter kids could contribute to it was the kind of thought that gave me hope for us all despite myself. I feel like that is some motherfucking foreshadowing. Not just of Molly, who has been a big part of this book, but the Carpenter kids, he says.
Right.
It makes me think that in later books that literally do not exist now, not even no spoilers, but like just that all of the Carpenter kids who are enshrined in this world because of their parents and their sister and their whatever.
Generation up and coming that's going to continue.
I really like that line.
I do, and it's fair because where did Michael come from in the first place, and so on and so forth, right?
I agree,
Obviously, so exactly now we're laying foundation that this is why this fight has continued and why Knights of the Cross continue to exist thousands of years into, right?
Not to mention we're being introduced to the individual children as well as
More
singular
so
characters. It's not just like
the kids.
some little kid walked up
But that's what I
to
mean.
me.
It's not just Molly. It's not setting it up to be like, well, Molly got all the power and the children after her are just regular children. Not to say that they're not necessarily going to get magical powers, but that they're going to find their own place in this world. And they're not going to ignore, the fight their parents took up or whatever,
Little Harry's going to be Harry's legacy because he can be a magic user.
That's, okay. We like him. We don't do that to a baby.
Just throwing it out there.
Not close parallels to Harry's life, just very generally, but...
Some families ruin their children's lives because you were always meant to be a baseball player. It's my dream. And some parents are like, you get to be a wizard. Aren't you happy?
At least he gets to have parents.
Right. But yeah, that whole almost as if parents do a reasonably good job of raising healthy, functioning children, that they will grow up to be an asset to the world.
But it's immediately followed by that line about Lucifer, which always makes me think of the Mark Twain quote. But who prays for Satan, who in 18 centuries has had the common humanity... But who prays for Satan, who in 18 centuries has had the common humanity to pray for the one sinner that needed it the most? It's like, all gonna get fucked.
I didn't know that quote.
I have read it many times.
Apparently.
It's not yet brought up here. We only ever deal with the fallen angels. But if a god exists in this universe, surely a Satan does too, right?
Right.
So who's he tempting? Is it just the fallen, or
Is he to
does
a coin?
he have his own agents outside of the fallen, or because the fallen seem to act like their own personal team, I guess.
Entity.
Yeah, because he's called on demons too, so demons exist.
Yeah, but the demons are generally considered to be part of the Fae.
Monster Fae universe, but...
So, I don't know.
Yes, obviously, yes, that the fallen are not the beginning and end of all sin and corruption in the world or anything like that.
Not the Alpha and Omega?
Unless Lucifer straight up is just walking around via his own coin as well.
It's Pan.
See, I think
he's also a fallen angel.
Yeah. One of the...
First.
He just keeps his own coin is in his pocket.
I was going to continue that thought, but I didn't have it. But yes, these ones being the one with the... Yeah, don't know. But obviously, okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Molly tries to sneak out. And go fuck yourself.
All that, yeah.
Yeah, she tries. So yeah, Harry just conveniently at this point, because we're all like, he should have passed out the fucking instant he got there too, but now he's too tired to sleep. So yeah, everybody else, and Molly's like, tries to, and does that tiptoe pass, and oh shit, you're awake, you can see me. I'm just doing the right thing and leaving before I cause any more trouble. And Harry's like, you selfish little bitch. No.
Thank you, Harry.
That's not how that's gonna work. I can see in your childish interpretation of the situation. Yeah, but let me lay down a few things for you here. And
this is so funny,
This
though.
is not going to make
so many
your
truth bombs.
You can't leave because of your magic. How do you know about that? I forgot that conversation hasn't even happened yet because we've known Molly's had magic for so long. I'm like, oh yeah, right. That's
She's
New information.
Yeah, that was the big what that hasn't been said.
yeah, she wasn't there for that whole coming to.
And then it all makes sense. Every time that Harry's opened his sight this whole book, Molly always conveniently left the room. And every time Harry went to go and touch and stuff, Molly never offered to touch him and shake his hand or do anything.
Yeah,
Come close to
here,
him.
have a coffee.
It all makes sense now, you motherfucking liar.
Again, subtle.
Sneaky.
That was just, made sense in the moment. But
Which is, I think, obviously less on Molly's manipulation and deceit and more on Jim Butcher's, like, conveniently, like, Mouse is never going to be here when you need him.
Right. Because she probably wouldn't have had the opportunity to figure out that there's she hasn't met any proper magic users that have been able to tell her how shit works.
Exactly, right?
So
That's
she
why,
wouldn't even have known to be able to.
That's why I don't think she was purposely, like, leaving before soul gazes were happening or using the sight.
Sight,
But,
yeah.
I think you're right. I think that's plot device, not.
but still, it's just so convenient, in
regardless
hindsight.
of how it happened, yeah. Well, I mean, and even that, because like you say, the first time Mouse did meet her, Mouse was like, and Harry's like, hey, dude, she's a friend. And Mouse went, okay. He didn't know. Harry didn't know what he was talking about yet, because he's like, you didn't know what he was setting off to, but exactly.
And Mouse is like, well, you do have a lot of shady friends.
Yeah, right. So, yeah, right. Like, okay, you're the boss man. Unlike Bob, Mouse does listen more. Mouse does consider Harry the boss. Even.
Mouse is like, yeah, we're living with a fallen angel of vampires.
Still got that
Dark
canine
Mouse.
look.
Who cares?
She's just another one of those. Yeah, okay, I got it.
Boss. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
boss. Okay.
So even like you say, after that, there was going to be probably not a whole lot of anything else from that, because Harry kind of already told him to stand down, right?
Exactly. It all played off very well and so
conveniently
unsuspiciously.
Yes. It's like that.
Well,
whole
without
Sixth
remembering
Sense
the end of this book, I was like hitting that moment going, well, maybe somebody she's around is the one that's, yeah, I didn't.
Well, yeah, exactly, right. You start,
I don't
is it
remember.
something else that it takes a minute to tie in, how Molly ties in directly to, yeah.
So, okay, this is really cute. When's your first time using magic?
It is, and it's kind of nice that Harry sort of remembers for a minute. And he's like, he knows he's got to let her in on a lot of really heavy shit here. But he's like, again, not that it was that long ago, 15 years. Harry's also sort of remembers what, right? And it brings some of those moments back between adults, whether it's parents or just children, whatever above.
I have questions about what he says here, though.
So do I, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if he won this 2 weeks before he met Justin, but he still has this, so he had to have brought this little ribbon with him to Justin's. So what? When he ended up
burned the
killing
house down?
Justin and he ran for this little ribbon.
I keep that thing on me.
Yeah, he had it secretly pinned inside of his robe the whole time. I don't know.
They lived up in the attic and the fire started in the main foyer. So even though the whole house collapsed, maybe the outer rooms didn't get as much fire damage.
I mean, it is a very cute story, but I did have to think, you kept it on yourself, and then you, in the same paragraph, was like, you lived with Justin with this. How did that work that you still have it? What?
Now, that's not my question. My question is, if Justin adopted him literally 2 weeks later, and let's assume that's about the time it takes to file the paperwork and stuff like that, I think Justin was monitoring him the entire time, waiting for his magic to finally produce something, because he's like, I'm not taking care of a useless-ass kid and feeding a kid, okay? The orphanage can do that right up until he's useful to me.
Or did he just kidnap him and he didn't know he wasn't legally adopted?
Oh, that's also possible. Either way, I still think that Justin
Mind
was literally
manipulation.
watching him just about the entire time he was in the orphanage. And straight up was just like, why the fuck would I take him home? I'd have to feed him, I'd have to watch him, I'd have to put him into school. Right now, the orphanage is going to do all that.
I mean, fair. That
what
is
a dick.
That is a certain amount of.
But we also know that Justin's not afraid to break any of the rules of magic, so.
No, I'm just saying Justin didn't want to take care of a kid until he had to.
Because he could manipulate whoever was, in control of adoption and be like, make it happen.
My point is that Justin straight up was like, I know where you are and I want you, but it's not worth my time until you've got magic.
Yeah, right? Like, oh, I would love to get a puppy. I'm going to wait till you train the puppy, then I will take the puppy, right? But yeah.
And it just seems like he waited to swoop in until the magic actually was manifesting before he was like, yeah, I could take you home whenever I want you because you're a Margaret Le Fay's child. I know for a fact you're going to have magic and be powerful, but why would I feed you when I don't have to?
Yeah, why would I start any of that before I need to? Yeah, exactly.
Fair.
The orphanage is feeding you for free.
Got
or,
it.
With America's taxes. I don't know. I'm probably from European descent. I don't know.
Whatever.
I don't know. I don't know what I've never imagined with just, let's do more. And I don't know. I don't know what that even origin of last name is.
Right? Sounds Frenchy.
She sounds evil. He's from the country of evil.
That's that too. It's from Transylvania with all every evil. Anyways, yes, all of those things. But it's very cute. So he's like, when did it start? And then he gets that she's like, and he's like, well, maybe I should give a little first, right? Like, it is kind of a cute thing where he's like, let me open up and be a little bit vulnerable because you're right. Again, makes all sense to Harry. Harry's put the clues together. Harry's coming at this from a whole other. Molly is like, oh my God, I just got caught. I've just been found out. Aside from all this terrible stuff happening, it's now realizing you didn't get away with all the stuff that you thought you were or had or should or were for whatever reason, right?
Real quick, though, before we get into this whole conversation, I understand as like a 17-year-old, okay? 30-year-old does seem old as fuck. But from a 30-year-old looking at a 17, I can't imagine the age difference is that significant. Like, it'd be me basically looking at my siblings right now and being like, yes, I'm going to train you in the wizardly ways. Ha ha ha. And it's just like, I don't know, I don't think I could do it at my age and be like, yeah, it's fine. I have an apprentice now.
It is and it isn't. And I think that is a really good point because you're right. In some ways, it's not. And you are at a very similar age difference as this exact one as you're right. But I think that's, again, partially the difference to the life that Harry has lived. Once again, you and your sister tell me often, you're like, I couldn't imagine having a kid X years old which I did at your age, right? So where I was at 28 and where you are at 28, very similar and vastly different.
Still crazy.
So absolutely, I think it is. But I think some of that is that exactly given some of the experiences Harry has and at such a young age and stuff like that. Like, again, he was 16.
When I was your age, I'd already killed my magic teacher.
Exactly.
Harry, will you make me your apprentice? Yeah, when I was your age, I'd already killed my mentor.
Yeah, don't worry about that taint.
Good luck, kiddo.
Fine.
I already with a lot. I already know all the tricks. You're not getting that past me. But yeah, exactly. It is very funny in some ways to think that, yeah, there is not. No, that's it. Just that Harry's like, yeah, 13 years. That's huge and not. Mm. But yes, this is how worldly he is. Let me teach you, young Padawan. Mm-hmm. Even though, you're old enough to be like my baby sister. So Molly's, the way her magic manifested, also very cute. She was wearing her goth punk outfit, and she came home and didn't want Mom to see her, and so she made herself. It was raining. She didn't stop in the treehouse.
Yeah.
What a brilliant way of making it like a relatable, cute story too, but also conveying what potential and power that she's going to end up possessing.
It's great.
It was so nice. Like when I read that, I was like, chef's kiss.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And even Harry, wow, that's actually impressive. Good job. It's just like
she's like, why? He's like, no, kid, you don't understand. Yeah. That shit's hard.
And I can't even.
Yeah, he's like, I can't even do it now with training. Mine are still shitty. And you just, exactly.
Could you imagine having a 2-hour-long ice cream headache, though?
No, that does sound, no.
It's like hardly bearable for like the 5-10 seconds of it. Like for 2 hours, though? Oh my God, that's worse than a migraine.
Oh, migraine. Yeah, I was going to say, right? Ugh. Yeah, not fun. Ooh, not fun.
How do these wizards like end up finishing their training at all if that's what like the repercussions are if you fuck it up?
I mean, I guess the payoff. I mean, when you think about sports players.
Magical Vicodin.
Why do people keep getting pregnant and giving birth? Okay. Reward outweighs the risk, apparently.
Okay.
Because the brain rewrites.
Exactly.
It wasn't that bad.
You. It's
Go get some ice cream.
Yeah. But I mean, to that point, yeah, exactly, right? Think about the injuries that sports and whatever and stuff like they keep going back and getting their arms broken. They keep
and the fortune.
Right? Surgeries. And so obviously, yeah, do you want to be the best? You're like,
probably I'm wicked endorphins when it goes right, though.
All of this kind of.
Feels
right.
good.
But I mean, yeah, can you imagine? Like, yeah, I'm willing to bet if you suddenly find you can make yourself invisible when you were in an uncomfortable situation, I bet you would have dealt with the that probably would not have been it would have been horrible at the time, but once it's over.
Molly, you were so lucky I got third eye off the street right before you got into all this shit. She would have loved that.
That too.
When I was reading it though, the way it was sort of presented though, I kind of almost thought she was gonna like sink into the floor. Where is it? Because like she
to
actually
hide
says
from her mom?
Because she's like, I wish I wanted to just
that
sink into
point,
the floor. I
that
just wanted to
point.
sink
Yeah,
into the floor, and I did. And suddenly I was like, quicksand.
Gotcha. So
That would have also been cute.
It took me a second. I thought you were like, while she was talking to Harry here, I was like, okay, but yes, as what? As the effects.
We already discussed, like, most American homes don't have basements. She would have just been, like, suffocating under the ground.
But yes. And then he's like, okay, so how did you, he's like, so you read, she said, like, I read something about, and he's like, is that how you figured stuff out? She's like, yeah, library, Barnes and Noble. And he's like, again, this is like nowadays where we're like, internet. He's like, you can just go and get books on this shit, and
I appreciate that Molly tried, though. She did her best. She tried, like, the way she met Nelson was because she'd heard that the kung fu teacher, martial art teacher, whoever, might have a hand in things, and she doesn't think he did, but still, she did her best trying to...
She did, right? And again...
And there's a certain amount of subterfuge that the White Council goes through to try to protect actual magic books, too.
I think given a little bit more, eventually, Mort would have been on her list, right? You start searching, okay, Psychic Chicago, I guess...
Ectomancer.
Wizard, detective.
You know how hard it is to get any Google results that aren't your fucking name?
You're the only one. But it is, it's interesting. I mean, again, it takes a lot for anybody that's tried to self-teach themselves anything, right? Trying to work, and it's funny, again, draw parallels to like Buffy and all that kind of stuff, right? They had the magic shop, they had real life, big time objects, and then they had, goofy little tchotchke things and stuff like that, right? Anything between the real and the...
Well, that's what makes it even funnier, okay? Christians already don't want their kids getting all mixed up in this Wiccan magic.
things.
Don't read Harry Potter. And Charity's like, no, it is real, and don't get mixed up in it.
Right? But exactly right. She knows she can't just go to her parent, even though they would be maybe not on the specific area. But again, they would read, this is what Daddy does for a living. So I could ask them about some of this stuff. But I know, and again, as obviously not the same stakes. But same thing, things I'm like, I'm not going to bring that up with my mom because I know her is going to be no, and she's not actually going to give me any information on it, or I'm assuming she's not going to give me any information on it. So,
Better to ask forgiveness, better to beg forgiveness and ask permission.
Exactly, but it's not even a case of that. It's just there's not going to be, right? Like there's no point in going to this source because this source is just going to want to shut it down. So, same thing, right? I'm going to find out about these things from my friends' parents and from books, for good or bad.
But not from a man that actually knows magic.
Again, though,
That he's Harry's on Dad's team.
Harry's on Dad's team and Mom doesn't, right? So again, if I go, is he going to tell Mom and Dad?
I wouldn't have gone to Harry either in her situation.
Not right away. Again, I probably would have wanted to find out more. And again, you have like whoever it was earlier that alluded to this kind of a thing, of this figure to look up for, and
hero
stuff like
worship.
that. Hero, you don't want to look like the stupid newbie, and right, like whether she's got like crush type feelings on Harry or not, it's still a cool.
I think it was Fort Hill.
Yeah, it was at Fort Hill that says, comes in and out and just, thank you. That was, that conversation. Right. So, she's got all these kind of elements that maybe at some point, but again, while she feels like she knows nothing about nothing, that's not where she wants to go. She wants to feel like she has a little bit of an idea, and then maybe she can go when she's coming from a place where she knows what she's talking about, kind of a thing, right? So, again, all terrible, horrible reasons, all genuinely do make sense to a certain degree in a young teenager's life kind of a thing. I'm like, these are all the kind of dumb justifications we all made for ourselves for why we did or didn't do.
Now, time for some hard truths.
Now coddling is over. Now let's get down to...
And she explains what she did to Rosie and Nelson and why, because of addiction and overdoing it, and that they were sort of feeding into each other, and then there was this baby... And a previous baby that already...
She'd already had a miscarriage. Yeah, and it's just
she thinks she only sent them a nightmare, and that's it.
That was it. And again, all by really good... I mean, obviously the intent, right? But her and Sandra having that conversation where Sandra happened to bring up, and she's like, science has proven that fear can be a really good... We know it does all this stuff. Now, here's a way we can use it for good to exactly get over, traumatic and blah, 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 blah. So she thinks, okay, perfect. this we can just write. And it's so touching, and again, it says so much about...
I mean, the logic is pretty sound. Without knowing what you're doing, actually doing.
The ramifications, but like you say, the intents of what she had, and then to learn why, like what was, right? Because, at this point, we've already sort of figured out that she was trying to do something, and it must have,
looking back, they had this, like, needle precision at their temples, so someone's clearly, that's... The temple is where the memory is. We all know that.
Obviously. Into the brain. Mm-hmm. But exactly, it wasn't just like, because he says when he looks at the fetches, Vic, they're just slashed and torn, right? Like the difference between a surgical scalpel and, right? So, you knew already that this wasn't just mayhem for mayhem's sake or whatever, right? And even when you start piecing together Molly's involvement, you're like, well, there must have been. So it's very, like, again, I can see that, like trying to help for... Okay, it's bad, but you're...
Well, I mean, if you think that you are solely just sending them a nightmare, and that's what she thinks, it's really hard to grasp the idea that you're, in fact, whittling away in their brain because you can't conceive of it.
Molly doesn't know how to pull up her
concept.
sight. She doesn't see the effects afterwards.
Yes. Doesn't know any of these ripple effects. Hasn't, right? Nobody's taught her to pull up the third eye. She maybe
kidding. She gets upset hearing that she's like...
What she's actually done.
Yeah. Rosie may come out of it in a few years, and Nelson probably never will.
He's just going to be insane now if he's not already done.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
What do you do with those characters? You just write them off, throw them away, go throw them in a loony bin? Some hospital be taken care of? Like,
I was going to say,
pregnant. What does that mean for the baby?
We never have to come back to this and consider, but these are Molly's friends that she was right. Presumably, you will continue, exactly, right? And
I think, honestly, as Harry, like, one of my first things with my apprentice would be like, we're going to go look at them with a third eye. This is how you pull it up and have that stuck in your brain forever. This is what you did.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yes and no. I mean, again, that might be just as overly traumatic to start without the, but I get your point, like, to see the actual...
If you fuck up again, come with me.
Listen.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole thing is very poignant. And so we get through that. We get, the whys. And then Harry says, okay, that's really admirable. Like, I appreciate your heart was in the right place. All of that doesn't matter. You've ruined lives. And she's like, what? And he's like, but I didn't mean to. And he's like, yeah, doesn't matter. Don't care. More importantly, nobody else cares. Not even that he doesn't. He's like, I might care. Your parents might care. Nobody else is going to care. But, yeah, no.
It's because of the first part of the book, seeing him sort of
fight against that understanding.
Yeah, he was fighting it, although he was already explaining it to himself in ways, and now he's coming to terms and living.
Yeah. Who knew that horrific scene at the start of the book was going to come into play more directly in Harry's life before the end? Wow.
So it is kind of a nice development that he's taking this so maturely and like internalizing it.
It is that
in a
one
way
thing,
that's like not so crybaby that he was in the beginning.
Has to be the pillar of strength right now.
Oh, yeah.
This whole Molly acting out and him grounding the magic, I'm like, wow, you kind of like being powerful. Like, she's giving you every opportunity to be the coolest guy in the room right now. I'm the wisest. I'm so powerful. You're just some dumb kid spouting off. And exactly, this also hurt you, Molly, and it will continue to hurt you, and it will warp you, and it's just, you say yes to temptation once, and then you say yes to temptation twice. Sorry, Lash? Are you there?
Nope.
Anything you'd like to say right now?
Well, she's a really interesting, like, to put her in pretty much the exact same situation. Well, not quite exactly the same, but pretty close. Like, as that he grew up with is a really interesting way to sort of, for us as readers, to see how he grew up without actually having to go there.
Forget the beginning of the book. This is right back to the beginning of Stormfront.
Yeah.
Doom of Damocles hanging above your head.
Right? Just when you think you're out, they pull you back in.
Yeah, we didn't get to see Harry make his mistakes, but we sure got to see her.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And I mean, it's so, again, Harry being the hero of this story, we're all on his, well, sure, that was a horrible thing he did, but obviously he did it for a good reason. Like, Justin was going to kill him. Justin was trying to turn him into a bad guy. Harry fought back for himself and to save the world and all this, right? But again, you get this, that doesn't always matter. And just because your good intentions are good in this, but what about all of...
dichotomy.
Oh, God.
Darn those cliche phrases.
Worst. Like,
Paving and
reality, awful. Right? Like, no. It was so much better when you just saw that Molly was doing this. Don't point out all the bad. Don't point out all the other ramifications. Don't point out the ripple effect of what Okay, so she ruined their free will, but it was for, yeah, right?
It's for a good reason.
Yeah, and it doesn't change the fact that it was for a good reason, and she has potentially, but right, it's just, fuck, man.
But this comes even more from,
Real
like, the
world.
family that you come from, where God is all about choosing free will, and now you're playing your own God and choosing for your friends, and it's like, have you learned nothing?
Yeah, and and I mean, I get it, right? She's like, she tried to get Rosie to go to rehab, and Rosie wasn't there yet, and she couldn't, and she didn't, and once again, sending home that point that, sure, at 17, you are largely grown. You are largely an adult. By 18, most places, you are age of majority for a lot of things that count, right?
I'm sure.
But you're
Chicago's
still
21.
so young. But drinking, that's it. You can vote and everything,
Oh, yeah, you
right?
can go to war.
You can go to war. You can vote when you're, right? So this is the thing, right? Decide from, and it is that thing of, like, this is why you have parents. This is why you're not, right? Because you're almost there, but you don't always think of the bigger picture. You don't realize the length of the ramifications sometimes. And this is why there's still people there to, so that between, like, yeah, I know everything. You think you do.
Does he only reflect that she might be tainted, or does he actually tell her? I don't think he outright does.
He kind of tells her.
Like,
hints,
After the
maybe?
soul gaze, he's
Okay.
like, you're on the cusp.
Yeah, he does tell her because he does say, because he does basically lay out, he's
hurt
like,
yourself.
what you did was black magic. And that in and of itself
Yeah.
lays. So if you don't commit to getting on the right path, you will end up full on war. Yeah, he does basically tell her that, yeah.
Second hard truth. There may not be an opportunity to get on the right path. There will be a trial, execution, trial, deliberation, less than an hour.
May or may not be in that order.
Very good chance they are going to execute you. I watched them do it just a couple of days ago.
And guess what my job is? Oh, shit.
Hard truth number 3. I'm supposed to bring you to them.
Yeah, I am now part of that. And he is just like, oh my God, scared shitless. Again, here you've got somebody coming to you, somebody who has literally just come to your rescue, fought actual. Now they're like trying to talk to you and be like, hey, now we know what's going on. I see you've come into power. We need to learn how to do that,
It's probably too late.
But it's probably too late. I'm going to be the one, right? So she's gotten
Snap you from death's doors just to deliver you again.
the emotional roller coaster, right, of all of this, of hiding something, then finding, like, the relief or whatever that's out in the open, and him being like, I understand, I get it, but now you've abused it, now you've wrecked it, now you have to, and I mean, like, again, right, she's like this person she's finally coming to and is taking a moment to be like, okay, here's somebody that can help me and is willing to, and now they're the ones that are going to turn me in, like, no, like, can't you help me, can't you hide me, like, why do they have to know?
I don't know if this is the actual name of the TV show, but there was like a show called like Scared Straight or something where parents would hire like a guy from the military to come and scream at their delinquent children and be like, this is gonna be your life. You'll be in prison, or if you work for me, Megan, you'll be...
I feel
it's like a very mild version of that. It'd be like, Harry, can you come and like kill our daughter so she understands the ramifications?
Yeah, the whole, like, the tough love kind
Take her to trial.
Exactly, yeah. Like, you just pretend to arrest my kids so they never steal a lollipop again? Yeah, exactly. Only, yeah.
That's why I beat my kids.
That's right. Then they just never get there.
When the law fails to protect those it governs, it's up to someone else to pick up the slack. In this case, me. There was a chance I could save her life. And here it is. The deliverance.
Ding. Oh, wrong one.
I was thinking, like deliverance from evil, coming to the rescue once again. There is a chance, Molly.
All she really needs is somebody to just guide her.
She did, well,
Dr. Strange holding up one finger.
Do you see? Yeah, but they do this soul gaze, which is something she's read about but has never done, has a kind of idea. And he's like, okay. And he's like, I want to do, which a little bit like, it's great you got her consent, but at the same time, I'm like, you really didn't prepare her for what this is.
Especially for how people normally respond to the
Yeah,
other side, which is seeing
it's
him.
Like, technically, you did, but you didn't lay out how. You told her she's lot, but whatever, right? But regardless, they do, right? But this is, so not only is it her first one this year, and it's really interesting. So again, Harry has said it happens differently for every wizard that experiences it. It's different from person to person to person. Also, we have seen through Harry's point of view, it's different for the people he gazes upon. He see, right? Different ways and things that he has.
The brain is interpreting it how it needs to.
The brain has interpreting it, right? Yeah. And I mean, Harry's always sort of gets like these series of pictures kind of a thing. But again, in this one, it's a little bit different again. And I think it's kind of really neat, given where they are at this point in Molly's life, right? Where he sees just like these endless windows, mirrors, possibilities.
Yeah, which is terribly convenient because that's exactly what he needs to find out.
Like, it is right now. And it's
tweak. All right, now let's do the skaze.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool. Like, I do love some of the ones they go, where Molly, like, emaciated and we don't know if she's fighting the good fighting the bad fight, but she's obviously fighting some fight. The one where she's just a little bit older. Again, don't know if she's still doing magic things or not, but she's obviously, got kids and is just doing the right. And then there's the full up. But I mean, it's just sort of beautiful, all of these different sort of, and any one of those can overlap at any other point too, right? But there is also the very obvious, you could go all the way down the dark path and little stereotypical in the description or
just the
typecast
imagery of Molly is still in this church in the vision. And it's the stained glass windows of the church that are now depicting these images of Molly. And I just think, if this is a cinematic movie and you've got, the camera basically just almost like when cameras go into a mirror and come out the other side and the reflection is exactly the same for a second, you're like, what changed? And then you're like, oh, wait a second.
Yeah.
And it's just like...
It's neat. It's very neat.
The Molly standing in front of him is literally as most blank state as possible. Like, the mirror didn't, fix her hair just perfect blonde or anything. It's like, no, the Molly right now, totally fucked up straight out of the gates of Arctis Tor, is the blank slate you have to work with right now.
Yes, to a large degree. Yeah. Everything's superimposed over that kind of a thing.
Yeah. So, I did like it. And then, of course, when they come out of it, God, I had no idea.
And once again...
And neither do we.
Neither do we, but at the same time, everything we've read about and everything we know about Harry's life was in some way interpreted into a metaphor that she saw. And now she knows.
Yeah. And again, right, like we've seen, Susan's reaction at some point, Marconi's reaction, all of this, right? And hers is immediately... hang on, I gotta catch up there. Yeah, that's it. She's just, oh my God, she whispers, I never knew. And he's like, right, so we know that she's seen and now she's affected and she has had this whole vision, but not, I'm like, well, she didn't pass out. She didn't throw up. But again, she's just like, there's obviously some sort of sympathy, empathy or whatever evoked there, right? So I'm like,
I'd like to think that she got to see what led him through his sort of similar experiences, like so.
Probably to some, right, what formed him and what exactly, right? But she's not immediately scared. She's not like, get away from me.
No, I think
she's not. It's exactly, she
this
has.
naivety we had about her dad. Okay, yeah, he fights monsters, but I don't know. I think now this is a little bit more eye-opening. Like, oh yeah, Dad and Harry fight monsters, and this is actually like, they come home and they're like, yeah, it was a hard day, but I'm okay. Now she's actually being like, oh shit, this is actually what Harry's up against, or what he's done, or what I've done.
Yeah, exactly. You start there's the whole, like, oh, my daddy's a cop, he saves people, and then you grow up and discover what kinds of horrible things cops witness day to day, and all of a sudden you're like, holy shit, any one of those days my dad could have been, this is what he was thinking about, right? Like,
I'm a little bit surprised that she was okay and not sobbing after that whole experience that she just finished having too.
Yeah.
Like that.
and again, maybe that's
her world
part
is
of
being
it.
Rocked several different ways.
Oh, roller coaster of like doom here.
Yeah, she's
like,
too scared for herself to be scared of Harry.
Yeah, and who knows, right? Maybe she is just, again, she's had such extreme, I mean, what did they say? It said about a slate there that obviously his face had contorted so many times so horrifically that like his actual face was like, it's almost like Molly's like that now. It's like, my emotions have been so I don't have more scared to be or anything like that.
I'm numb. I'm just numb.
Numb. Right? Like it's just, but yeah.
So now what? Do you turn yourself in or not, Molly?
I love how he handles this point here. Like it plays so well to both characters for me. Like, it just fits so nicely.
And again, total bullshit, because even a 30-year-old would not be this
Wise.
emotionally wise. Yeah, right.
But he has to live through it too. And
But exactly.
Like he's
He's
giving
got the
the
empathy
opportunity that
forged in
he was
trauma.
not given.
Yes. Yeah.
But, and you know, to know that the gatekeeper knows as well. And for Harry to still be like,
And that is the other thing, because I'm like, well, or was it her? It might be later, actually. It might be Charity's. Like, we don't.
Yeah,
Yeah. Sorry. Okay, never mind. But yeah, the whole reason he got on this is exactly that the gatekeeper was like, there's something.
I wonder if
Right,
there's something
so-
a little bit like freeing about the gatekeeper knowing, because if the gatekeeper like gives you this, knowing that you're the right person for this, that you,
I think
what
that's
your
exactly
choice you're
it,
gonna
though.
make is gonna be good.
if this had come from anyone other than the gatekeeper, Harry would be like, I don't have a choice. They already know.
Yeah.
It's the fact that it came from the gatekeeper that he's like, no, it's your choice. The gatekeeper wants it to be your choice.
Yeah.
He's given me my choices, and I'm giving you yours.
I was
and
gonna
me and
say,
the
the
gatekeeper will both
gatekeeper-
walk away from this.
Exactly. The gatekeeper could have walked up to you and said, hey, Molly's doing shit, go right. But he phrased it vague enough.
This is the
that
right nudge
He's got
that was
plausible
needed.
deniability. Harry's got plausible deniability, whatever, right? It's like, yeah, basically the gatekeeper said, however you want to handle this, I'm trusting you to handle it.
But even when
Right,
Harry
but-
says, like, yeah, they could kill me for being in collusion with an evil wizard, and I'll still walk away. And I think that is like just having that. Harry's in your corner either way.
Somebody has that much faith in you,
Yeah.
to do what's needed to
Do
be
the right
done.
thing, or
Yeah, and I think that definitely would be a huge, again, trying to factor for a moment of actually being in that position. Again, I'm not sure that I would have I'm like, I'm pretty sure my gut reaction would still want to be to run and hide. Yeah.
It's really devastating too. Can my mom and dad come to the trial? No.
No.
Can you? Yes.
Yes,
At
right.
least that one tiny little schmidgen.
Yeah, and it is so, because like you say, he lays it out so hard. Because I mean, he literally, when she was like, I didn't mean to, I was trying to, he literally says to her, it doesn't matter.
They will execute you.
Whatever you thought you were doing or thought you had, right? None of that. They don't care. But again, where he says, he's like, but I will stand by you the entire time. I have to turn you in, kind of a thing. Or I mean, I give you that choice, but but he's like, I will. And then again, like you say, well, she has the foresight or forethought or whatever to, be like, well, can't you get into? Oh yeah, I could absolutely get into trouble for trying to stand up and take your side and explain it to you. But I will do that anyways, It was, that was the difference between life and death for me. Somebody did that, I will do. And again, right, I've seen, you let me do that soul gaze, right? You could go, but there is just...
But maybe even that hope of, they've almost pulled the trigger on me. They haven't yet, so hey, there's a chance.
Right,
Well, and I think part of it is really that she really does have that foundation that Charity and Michael gave her, where she will...
She wants to do the right thing.
wants to do the right thing and can
take responsibility.
She can see what the right choice is. That's-
see what the right choice is and see...
It's scary and hard, but
see
she
the
is a
results
carpenter.
of that. Exactly, right? Like, it's all very well and say, like good will triumph over evil. Most of us haven't really seen that a lot. Again, want to talk about the morons at work or whatever, right? Like, how is that guy, like, never shows up to work, never does his job, he's still here, why hasn't he been fired? The person they hired, like, a month ago that was fantastic, and they made one snotty comment, now they're gone. You know what I mean? You're like, how is that fair? How does that make sense, right? We so often see the other side of it. That Molly at least has that little bit of like, yeah, it's not just words, right? She literally sees her dad go out and fight the good fight and triumph to some degree from it. Yeah, it's not all gone, but it does make a difference and have that, full foundation and proof, I guess, or whatever, yeah.
So if you choose to turn yourself in, that means you become my apprentice. Hard stop. Or you give up your powers. Hard stop. Those are your options.
Or both, or whatever,
Like,
yeah.
you're not gonna become an apprentice and give up your powers.
Sorry, but he does say, though.
I'm going to give up my powers, but can we just hang out?
He does say learn to control them, and then maybe so. There is a bit of both. But yeah, sorry, I meant more the if you become my apprentice, it's my way of the heart. Like, yeah, like you doesn't matter if you think it's a good idea or not, if you like it or not. You do what I say. And I mean, like, this is the interesting, and sorry.
I am your sword of Damocles now.
I am your...
And even, like, I could never give up my powers. Well, we're in the middle of a war right now. You should know before you enlist.
There's that. But I was going to say, you were like, this is what he had for him kind of a thing, and he's doing it. I'm like, he is paying it forward a little bit in that sense. But the other thing, though, where it's still riskier is that McCoy was a respected part of the council when he did it.
Yes.
Harry still isn't. So I'm like,
To be
me
fair,
standing up for
a
you.
lot of people that don't like Harry have died.
Right.
The numbers are thinning. Harry's just sliding $20 bills, and he's like, don't help the White Council with the ways, and a couple more senior members might
Damn
kick the bucket
it.
before they can kill me.
This would be such a great... You guys have not read this. For anybody out there who's read the Dark Jewels trilogy and then far beyond that, and Bishop. But there is this moment where... Let me try and sum it up quickly. Same kind of thing. Everybody has sort of levels of power in this world, and you're basically rated from like a white jewel to like a dark jewel kind of a thing. And it all is how much power you can hold in this person, blah, 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 blah. And so this little girl ends up coming along and eventually sort of getting adopted by this other really, basically who had been the most sort of powerful person in the universe before this, and now he's sort of taken a back seat. But the muckety-mucks, of course, all the corruption, all the governmental powers and everything like that is all corrupt and blah, blah, blah. And they decide at one point that they're like, well, they can't have her with him. So they try to separate and try to say, like, he can't be her adoptive father anymore or blah, blah, blah. And again, as far as like their laws and stuff like that, they kind of have that right. So she basically goes in and she was like, okay, that's fine, you can do that, but by the time the sun rises, you'll change your mind, something like this kind of a thing, right? So they're all like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever, and then they go, and everybody's fine until they realize the next day that it's like the sun doesn't come up. And they're like, oh, and it like takes like a couple of days or something like that before, and then they're like, holy fuck, this person has way more fucking power than we realized. Nobody can do this. So she didn't break any of the rules. She was like, all right, you guys go back, you think about it, I'll give you till sun or whatever the fuck. I forget exactly how it was. Right? And basically forces them to change their mind because it just...
A couple of days without sun, everyone's dead.
Right?
Whole ecosystem.
Everything's dead.
Yeah, so there is that to deal with, plus just the fact that this... I forget exactly, I want to say she was like 12 or 13, 12 or 15, somewhere, right? She's still a fairly young girl and all of this. Yeah. And obviously has fucking mass power over these people that think they're just hot shit and everything like that, right?
That's pretty cool.
It's like, that is kind of a little bit...
Pretty cool.
Harry's like, I'm not saying that if you oppose me, something bad is going to happen. I'm just going to say that nobody who has opposed me yet has what to tell about it. So do with that what you will. You know?
I don't know what you saw, but I bet it was a lot of death. It was literally just his kill count, like blinking giant neon lights.
Giant scoreboard, just...
It was probably a past, future, a past, present, and future kill count. And she's like,
I never knew.
What's coming?
Right, oh boy. So basically, right, they've gone through all of this, and then, exactly, he basically lays it all out for her, and she was like, okay, and she wants to talk about her folks with it, which is, again, a good plan. Harry's like, that's a good idea, you should. But yeah, they can't come with you or anything like that, and he's like, and it has to be your... And it is kind of a sweet way that he says it, too, a little bit, and it gets sort of re-emphasized after.
She doesn't know about her mother's bias yet, or why.
Well, that's it. She doesn't know where she got it from yet or anything like that, right? She has no idea of that. But, you know, again, it's this, right, some of it's sunk in. It's her starting to process and starting to try to take this midget. Like, I ran away. I thought I could handle it. I figured I was doing it all on my own. Obviously, didn't work out so well. So I should talk to my folks about this just as adults in the world. And again, a father.
And also maybe just make your goodbyes.
And maybe just make your goodbyes because, yeah, we don't know. And again, just Harry reiterating that whole very, like, I'm going to do my best not to let anything happen to you. Like, it'll be literally over my dead body. Which is great, but at the same time, I'm like, great. So right before you're fine, I guess you'll be dead in a minute, so it's fine. But you know what I mean? It's like, after all of this, you're going to watch, like, Harry potentially get beheaded trying to defend you. And then you'll have, like, again, a couple moments of terror and sorrow before you
She doesn't know it yet, but there'll be a hood over her head. She's fine. She won't have to see it.
She won't actually have to see it, yeah. Yeah. But she does, yeah. I guess she's gonna go.
Yeah. Ultimately, she chooses to go to the White Council.
Also not really addressed in this, but all of her magic against Nelson and Rosie is what attracted the fetches. So all those deaths are kind of on her hands as well.
Yeah.
And he doesn't really hold her accountable for that part at all.
No, yeah, you're right.
He's like, oh, you got kidnapped by them, so it also sucks for you. So we'll see.
They were all NPCs.
Just too much for you.
We didn't know any of their names.
You'll come to this conclusion eventually on your own.
I was gonna say, it's like that in like
Hopefully.
action movies and stuff like that. And then, like I say, I think we joke about it, the Avengers were finally held accountable for it at one point. They're like, wait, you destroyed half the city though, saving 5 people, you know? And you're like, oh yeah, but exactly right. All those things, like I remember it coming up in Buffy and stuff like that too. Like with the musical episode, which was so much fun and was cute and was wonderful. And then they're like, yeah, but wait a minute, Xander's the one that he actually freely admitted. So all those people that like burned up and died, doesn't Xander have to, you know, everyone just forgets about that afterwards.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
yeah, exactly right. It's like, sorry, anonymous people who died in a movie theater or a convention hall.
This concludes our episode 17.25, I Know What You Did Last Summer. Thank you for listening. You can find us online at freeflowrambling.com and McAnallys.ca. There we have links to our other podcasts, social media, and other fun tidbits. Please subscribe if you like what you're hearing, and please consider supporting us through Patreon to keep the magic alive and to see more content. We are Free Flow Rambling. Conjure by it at your own risk.